Hello, Mindful Music Muffins, and welcome to Mental Health Myth Busting. And today we're going to be talking about the myths around depression. For many reasons, including stigma and misinformation, there's a lot of myths around mental illness, but today we're going to be talking about that and busting some of those myths up. Let's get straight in with myth number 1. Depression is sadness. First of all, everybody that has feelings experiences sadness, and sadness is not an illness, but not everyone experiences depression, and depression is an illness. So that first off is the main difference. Sadness doesn't necessarily take over your life unless it's like grief or something, and even then there comes a point where you learn to deal with it, I guess. Although actually that's a complicated one because in some cases it can lead to depression, but anyway, that's a different thing. But generally sadness doesn't take over your life, but depression does take over your life. So depression and sadness, they were already beginning to look quite different. But furthermore, not everyone with depression even feels really sad. Some people's depression is like perpetual sadness, but some people, when they're really depressed, don't feel anything. They're just numb. I know I've had that sometimes when I'm depressed I feel really sad, and sometimes I just don't feel anything. So it's different, and it's not quite the same as just being sad. And the other thing is, if you're sad, you can usually just do something, cheer yourself up, and maybe even fix the problem. But depression, you can't just do that. I mean, you can lift your mood, but that doesn't cure you. Major differences. Myth number 2, everyone with depression is suicidal. The thing with this is that everyone, or at least most people that are suicidal, are probably depressed, but not everyone who's depressed is suicidal. It depends how severe the depression is. Some people aren't. I have depression now. I'm not suicidal. I don't want to die. I haven't thought about killing myself. I did years and years and years ago when I was a teenager, but not for a very long time, so you don't need to worry about me on that front. Some people who are depressed think about it every day, some people who are depressed think about it sometimes, and some don't think about it at all. It depends how well managed it is, or if they've had treatment, or just whether there's even got that severe in the first place. Although I say that, but it depends. It could just be different. They might have it just as bad, they might struggle equally as someone who's suicidal, but maybe with a different aspect of it, maybe getting out of bed or something. Their energy might be lower. But yeah, not everyone who's depressed is suicidal. So if someone tells you they have depression, don't immediately assume that that is the case. Okay, that's that sorted. Myth number 3, everyone with depression self-harms. This is kind of like myth number 2. Some people who are depressed will self-harm, and not everybody will, and even the ones that do it in different ways. So some people cut, some people do whatever, but I'm not going to talk about that too much because I don't want to trigger anyone. I never used to cut, but I did used to self-harm ages and ages ago. Some people don't self-harm at all, some people do it a bit, some people do it every day. It's just different depending on the person. So again, if someone says, oh, I'm depressed, don't think, oh, that means they're hurting themselves all the time, because that's not necessarily the case. Myth number 4 is that depression isn't real. Well, right off the bat here, we can say it's real. Science says so. It is proven to be a real thing. So anyone who thinks it's not real, stop saying that. It's a lie. No. I think that's all we need to say on this. Myth number 5 is that people with depression don't care about anything. That isn't true, because actually sometimes it just seems like the person doesn't care. They might come across as apathetic, but actually they might just not know how to express it, or they might just be too tired to express it. Or if they're feeling numb, like I described before, then that might make it seem like they don't care, when actually they do. They just don't really know what they're feeling or how to express what they're feeling, or I don't know. It's complicated, but people with depression, even if they're feeling numb, doesn't mean they actually don't care. It's not that simple. And even then, not everybody gets that apathy state. So just if someone tells you they're depressed, it doesn't mean, oh, that means they're gonna not seem like they don't care about stuff, because not everybody's like that. But some people are, but that doesn't mean they actually don't care. In fact, in some cases it's that they care too much and they don't know how to express it. That's me. I do that. Myth number 6. People with depression are just lazy. Oh, if only it was that simple and we were just choosing to be that way. Because if I was choosing to be depressed, I would stop right now, because I hate it and I wouldn't wish it on anybody. It is not a choice. I am not being lazy. I can't help it. It's not the same as being lazy. Somebody who's being lazy is just choosing to be that way. Being depressed can stop you from doing stuff that you like and stuff that you want to do, whereas being lazy means that you don't even want to really do those things. Like, you might not care about having a clean house, so you don't really want to clean it and tidy it up, but someone who's depressed might want to do that but not have the energy to do it. They're not lazy, they're just tired, and that is not the same thing. And it kind of upsets me that some people still don't see the difference. Myth number 7 is that if you have depression, you can't ever feel happy about anything. This isn't true. I mean, some people who have depression maybe struggle to feel happy, but that doesn't mean they can't, or that it's impossible. It doesn't mean it's not worth trying to cheer them up. It doesn't mean that they're just going to be miserable all the time, and even if they are, they can't help it. But it doesn't mean that it's physically impossible for them to be happy, even though they might actually think that they won't ever be happy again. Chances are there are things that make them happy, but they just overlook those things because depression is mean and it does that. Why does it do that? I don't know, but brains are weird. They don't always help us out. Damn you, brain. I know what I'm doing, I'm just being weird. Myth number 8 is that if you have depression, you must be ungrateful for what you have. People that say this, please stop, because you can have everything in the world and be grateful for it and still have depression. Mental illness doesn't discriminate, doesn't care whether you're grateful or not, whether you're rich or not. It doesn't matter, you can still get it. And if you have it and you think that your life is bad, even if your life isn't bad, it doesn't mean you're ungrateful. Depression just is like a negative filter on everything. It's like a rainbow in monochrome. That's a lyric, I'm using that. But it's not something you can really help, and it's not that you're just being ungrateful, it's just that you're kind of overlooking the good stuff because this negative filter blocks it out. That's where, like, me writing in my diary and writing good stuff in there helps me with that, because it just helps me focus on the good stuff sometimes, and I can look at it when I'm in a bad mood and go, oh yeah, good stuff does happen. It's not the same as being ungrateful. It's not. Stop saying that. Why do I keep poking you? I don't know. Myth number 9 kind of ties in with that. People with a good life can't have depression. Again, that's not true because of the negative filter thing. So people can have the best life ever and still get depressed, because depression doesn't discriminate, doesn't care what your life circumstances are. It can be triggered by bad things, it can be circumstantial, but it can also just happen because of biology or some other reason. So you can have a good life and still get depressed. That's just science, that's just the way it goes. And yeah, so if you don't like it, shush, because that is the facts. You need to stop being annoying. Depression is not something that cares about whether you're rich or poor, or whether you have a big house, or whether your family is good or not. It doesn't matter. You can still have it. That goes for any mental illness. That's just the way it goes sometimes. Yeah, it sucks, but that is the reality. And finally, myth number 10 is that depression is a choice. I have kind of touched on this already, but it's not a choice, because if it was, nobody would have it, because nobody would choose this. Trust me, nobody would choose it. Nobody would choose to have no energy. No one would choose to be numb or sad all the time. No one would choose the things that depression gives you, the difficulties that it brings. Nobody would choose it, and us that deal with it wouldn't wish it on anyone. I would say not on my worst enemy, but I don't really have anyone that I hate, but if I did, I still wouldn't wish it on them, because that's how bad it is, and I wouldn't choose that. Nobody would. It's just an illness. It's like nobody would choose to get cancer. It's the same as that. You wouldn't go up to someone who has cancer and say, yeah, you chose to have cancer. Right, now you just need to choose to get better. You just wouldn't do that. Well, maybe you would. Maybe you've got a heart of stone, in which case, go away. I'm joking. I'm sure that's not you. But you wouldn't say that to them. So I don't know why mental illness is different. But it is for some reason. Fuck you, stigma. You mean. Depression is not a choice. So that was mental health myth busting with busting the myths of depression. That's a mouthful. I almost didn't get that out. In fact, there's been mistakes. There's going to be bloopers probably. But yeah, hopefully this video was informative and helpful. You guys might have known all this anyway, but hey, maybe you still enjoyed me rambling on, even if you knew the stuff. And if you didn't, well, maybe it was helpful. Let's go to the ending, or the outro as it's sometimes called. Why did the light change when I moved my arm? I don't know, that was weird. Thank you for watching Mindful Music Mothers. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to show the like button some love. And if you want to see more videos, you know what you need to do. Obey the cushion. And I'll see you next time. Love you guys. Bye. Hello, Mindful Music Muffins, and welcome to fuck's sake, let's try again, take two. Hello, Mindful Music Muffins, and welcome to Mental Health I cannot do this. Right, okay, let's try again. Hello, Mindful fuck's sake. Oh, it's gonna be like bloopers or something. Hello, Mindful Music. Fucking hell. Stop laughing. Okay, for many reasons, forgot what I was saying, blah, 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 blah. And finally, number 10, myth. So yeah, that is mental health myth.